Well, good evening and welcome to Own Your Shift. I am so excited to have the two of you here and talk about flow, focus, and sustainable productivity. And we couldn't have had cooler, better speakers to share all things focus and productivity because I know that you have one of the largest women owned business groups. I don't know how you'd say that, but I just saw that today online and I was like, wow, that is so cool. Yeah. To have such a huge ecosystem network supporting women in business and following your purpose and doing it in flow is such a remarkable example for everybody today, especially women in this day and age where we feel like we have to do more to be more. Your presence is so refreshing and grounding and warm and genuine and welcoming and very authentic. So I thank you for being here. And to Tessa Arneson and Rocky Donati of Maven. And Maven is many things, and I will have either Tessa or Rocky tell us what different things you do under the Maven umbrella.
Well, thanks for a lovely introduction.
I know. We
Being
just
called
bring it
cool
every-
by somebody else is always like the 13-year-old version of myself is like, we've made it. So Maven is a community that empowers women, and we are, by all business accounts, a vertically integrated real estate development and property management company. So we do everything from the finding the land, developing the land, designing the buildings, all the way through managing the properties day to day. So that's what we technically do, but it's probably the least exciting thing. Neither of us are going to get, as Tessa would call them, sparkly eyes when we say we own buildings and then we rent them. What we really love is we love bringing women together and connecting them. And inside that community, women do so much of this naturally, where we work on ourselves, and then we also recognize how important it is to not do that in a silo and do it alongside other women. So really, the whole real estate thing, our new line is it's a cover for being able to empower women and get them to connect with themselves and others. And it's really, how do we call this a job? It's really cool and incredible.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we get to meet people like you. We get to come to events like this. We get to learn how to talk about ourselves and our own stories, and we hear others' stories, and it's really just an incredible way to spend time.
Beautiful. And it feels very healing, like you are combining what we're meant to do in this life, which is to live fully and fully present and not just hustling or producing more and more, but you are combining the two where it is work and business, but it's also healing and community and just lots of growth and sharing.
Well, we built something we didn't have,
Yeah.
and we wanted and we desired. So I think that's why it keeps us a little close to being able to do the things we love, is because when we started this, we wanted a community. We wanted a community to explore who we were, who we are, who we're becoming, who we've always been. And that's something that we get to do every day. And then I think something we've been talking about a lot is the more we can be ourselves, the more permission or allowance or mirroring others can be. So I think that's the healing piece, at least for me, is every time that I get to hear a story or talk about my own story, there's this little bit of permission slip, as you've been saying recently, that gets slid across the table to be like, I am not just okay, I'm amazing as I am. And that feels healing, to be able to be with other people when they're also experiencing it. And they find that little bit of bravery to, hey, I'm going to try this on to be my full self and see how that feels. And you can't do it all the time based on what's going on, but the more we can do it, the better I feel in my own body and my own life.
100%, yes. And I'm sure I want to go back to your childhood a little bit because things always, like the seed is always sown there.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Because I bet you have this tendency from a young age.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
kidding. Yes, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I totally believe that we don't just wake up and be who we are. It's been there all along if you look back and connect the dots. Yeah, I love that our childhood has shaped, and this has been a long time coming of building this community. Even before you started your business, I think you had it in you.
I think so. I think so. I think it's always been my superpower.
Sure.
You know, it's like what I did on the sports fields. It's what I did. I reconnected with a friend from high school, and I was telling her about my job. Like, what are you gonna do to save the world and be the change? And and she was like, please tell me you remember the canvas that you had up in your house that took up in your bedroom of your 16-year-old bedroom that took up the whole wall that said "Save the World."
Oh.
And I was like,
that just gave me chills.
I did not remember that, but I do feel very committed to what are we doing to be the change you want to see. That feels like so inherent in me. And so I don't know, maybe it started then, maybe it started before, maybe it started with my parents nudging us to dream big and go after something like meaty in this life. And I don't know, I've got a good amount of privilege, so I really want to do good with it. How can we be that change in this world, and how can we elevate women that need that lift up, need that leg up, or just need a couple doors open for them? Like some of that stuff is so inherent and simple. So for me, so how can I help other women get power,
affect change, and see their true potential and who they really are. Yes, I definitely see that. It's such a privilege to be able to do that, not just from a financial perspective, but just looking at Maslow's theory of evolution. I think most of the world is still in the base of the pyramid, for physical needs and then the emotional. But I think to get to a place where we're good, we've done this, and we've experienced all the emotions, and I'm good just as I am, that acceptance, and then to share that with others is a privilege. And I think they're very small percentage of the world can say that. So I feel truly, truly blessed to be in community of other women who are so similar. And I think we are.
In this moment in time. I want to know what your
your childhood.
Do you feel like
we're
you
still
were
talking about
in that?
childhoods.
Yes, we didn't hear yours.
Yeah, I would say I have always been the kid who thought she had all the power inside of her and was very confused why the rest of the world was telling her something different. And so I think I developed, I definitely played in a man's world for a long time. I was a tomboy. I worked in male-dominated industries. All my friends were men. And I think that, that desire to have boundaries and to have expression and confidence, that's always been in me. I think I let it go a little sideways, where it was over masculine and really not about community, and it was really about hyper independence and the American version of everything. And building Maven was really a catalyst to bring me back into being able to hold both things. I now have this very masculine container of I can tell anybody to go fuck off and not think twice about it. And I feel very confident saying, yeah, we can do that. Heck yeah, you can do that. You can do that. And also at the same time being in a space of really being able to listen and express emotion and be there for people in a much different way. And so, yeah, wow. I mean, what you see is what you got. I was the no kid and a lot of why questions, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And so I still do that, but now I feel like I'm doing it from a more tell me more about these choices that you have made.
I love that. It's true. We all have the masculine and the feminine, right? Yeah. It's not one or the other. We need both in different times of our life, and that's why all these theories of the yin and the yang.
Yeah, I really want to integrate them. I think that's what we're all here to do. That as collective women, we're all so powerful. And you're right, that tip of the pyramid where some people can hold both things, it is our duty, even as we continue learning, because we're not really at the top, we're just making our way that way. We need to turn back and tell other women, you can do it. And we get to embody that and show them, yeah, it's not just me. The power is in you, the power is in you, the power is in you. How do we wake it up? How do we alchemize it and use it?
And I see that shift as, going from egocentric to soul-centric.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think ego is where our identity self is so locked in, like I'm a good mother, I have to be a good mother, I have to be a good boss, I have to be a good this. And the soul is like, I just am,
Yep. I just am.
I just am, It's beautiful. That journey is beautiful. And what does being in flow mean to you?
I think that means for me that I'm really grounded, I'm really embodied, and I'm really able to listen internally, and it feels simple, I think, is what that feels like for me.
I was going to say something really, really similar. I just led a meditation this morning, and what came up for me is we think sometimes that flow means like you're really calm, or you're really collected, or you really know everything, and you're just in like this state of flatness. And really, it's not about that. It's about this wave, right, where you can stand in the center of chaos, and then you can feel like you can move through anything, and you're not necessarily calm, you're just present, and you're aligned with yourself. And so no matter what's coming, you're like, okay, I'm grieving, I can grieve, keep walking forward. Oh, I'm really happy, okay, I'm really happy, keep moving forward. And like you pointing to your stomach, this alignment literally from a three-dimensional
Inner
space
strength
is really important.
Yeah, I can feel it when you're talking about it. It's really that inner strength of knowing who you are, that because I think a lot of it is the practices that help us overcome the fear, which is the baseline of a lot of people, like fear of this and fear of that. But I think the more we overcome the fear factor, the greater we are in flow.
I kind of also think, though, is acknowledging the fear is a really important piece, and I think, I don't know if we're always overcoming it as much as it's also invited in here. Like, I don't want to operate from that as much as possible, but the times that fear is here, really letting it in is something I've been working with a lot these past couple of weeks, is like, let fear be here and listen. Like, what else does it have to tell you? Because sometimes when I ignore the fear, like, I'm just gonna
I'm
chugging
fearless,
along.
which I used to love to say, like, I don't have any fear.
And I have like a super high tolerance of risk. So but the fear is still there. So it's like learning how to work with it and learning how to invite her into the conversation as well. Like, hey, this is actually also important to what we're working with too.
Acknowledge where we are, for sure.
Yeah. And then I can actually move quicker, I think, when I actually let the fear all the way in, touch the fear, touch the flame, and then, okay, now the fear is here. She can calm down, take a seat, and we can move.
Yeah. How do you handle fear? Like, that's beautiful. And for me, fear is something that shows up, and I question it. Like, is this really a fact or a fear? Like, if it is a fact, then I have to take action towards it. And if it's a fear, I go to where it comes from. Oftentimes it's, again, childhood and conditioning and all the things we've been. So I'm like, I've gotten pretty good at releasing those fears and recognizing them, acknowledging them, but also knowing that it has no power over me. Like, I can do something about it if it's the fact. And if it's not, then I have the ability to heal where that's coming from too.
Yeah, it's in the car, but it's not in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like you guys are saying the same thing. This idea that fear being an emotion, that there is a level of like legitimate safety, right? That's the first step. Am I physically safe? Am I emotionally safe? But once we've come into this other one, now is the fear, is it something from the past? Is it something of the future? Like, is it something I'm carrying, something I'm anxious about? But in that moment, going like, yeah, it's okay. You can be here. We can befriend. I read a great book called Befriending Your Dark Emotions. And it's whether it's fear, grief, despair, any of those things, that when we sit with it, And it sounds like you're doing the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Just being acknowledging that it's there.
Yeah, totally.
And whether we let it come along for the ride or kick it out of the car
Depends on the
depends
day.
on the person too.
On the day too, yeah. Befriend your brains is what I call it, like the thoughts that we have.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, because I think our thoughts are always trying to protect us. And so sometimes to our detriment, keeping us in the comfort zone, not letting us do the things that will actually serve us, whether it's learning a new habit or stepping outside of the comfort zone. For me, speaking could be that. Like, I was like never into speaking, but I do so much of it now. But I had to make friends with my brain and say, hey, all these things you're telling me about how bad I am at speaking is like, no, not
People
true.
are gonna laugh at you. You'll never think of the right
Exactly,
words.
yeah. So that's a fear. That was a real fear.
I don't know. I feel like I try and separate like what are thinking versus heart. And when I can get into my heart down low instead of here, that's where my quote unquote truth is, rather than listening to my thoughts. Because your emotions become your thoughts. But if we can get to our root, like the emotions, then that's where I can be a little more guided rather than believing. Am I believing a thought, or is this actually a feeling, and is this more true? So it's like that, get still, get quiet, and really allow your heart to speak rather than your brain, which seems to work for me.
Well, and I also think the soul speaks in statements. Like when we're quiet enough, the brain is always speaking in questions. It's always asking something
And like
chattering, and it's noisy. And like the soul just speaks in definitive, confident, linear, very clean statements, as simple as possible. And so like heart, soul, whatever we call it, if we can calm the noise, meditation, nature, removing ourselves from our own brain, being the observer, then yeah, it's like, oh wait, hold on. It says, yes, you can. Okay, that's not a question. We're good to go.
You have that tapping into your own intuition, that inner voice, right?
Yeah, intuition, another great word for it, whatever we call it.
What are three tips that you would give our friends, our listeners, our audience about being more in flow?
Meditation, nature, zero fucks.
I love that. Okay.
I'm going to steal the first two because we really agree on that piece. Journal.
Yeah.
That's one of my go-tos.
And talking about productivity, I think less of the noise. We all agree on that. Like less of the emails and the distractions, and where do you put your time? I think less distractions. And then the other one is, do you believe in multitasking or single tasking? Do you think that affects productivity?
I think we have to multitask some things, and so learning to get better at that, limiting that multitasking to maybe two things is pretty essential. Because if we think about it, like you're hosting a meeting, you need to follow the agenda, listen and kind of read the room. Like we're doing a lot of it, but really if you're doing work that involves no people, it is focus. It is one thing, highest priority, let the rest of it go.
And then making room for rest, I think, is so huge.
Equal amounts of rest and work, which is really hard to do, but
Or more rest.
more rest.
Because we're already 120 percenters, all of the women that are powerful. Yeah, we could
more
really
rest.
We're resting at 110.
Yeah.
No, we're
More
not.
rest.
More
I
rest.
love that. Well, thank you so much. That was so heartfelt, and it really helped me shift my perspective too. Like, the thing about fear, I'm going to think on that, because I think we're all different, and I might be fearless in some areas, but I might be editing myself in some other areas, So I think a lot of that is, again, conditioning and upbringing and
this
childhood
imitation
and patterns. Yes. There's
fear.
room for all, I think.
There really is room for all.
Yeah.
They just get louder if we don't give them room. So
They're like toddlers.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's
Thank you.
go